Well, I'm very pleased to win this award, as it's acknowledgement that many students and professors are reading and thinking about the case. And as an educator, it's my objective to create knowledge and teach it. And to the extent this case allows students and professors to better understand the subjects that are included in the case, that's gratifying, and I'm very pleased to be part of the case writing process. Well, I think the case demonstrates a number of interesting educational points, including the point that mergers and acquisitions are complicated and messy, and there's a strong analytical component to the case, and financial models have been built, but there's a lot of variability and uncertainty associated with projecting cash flows, which give rise to determining valuation. And there's a lot of uncertainty regarding personalities in an M&A matter. Egos get involved, community interests are involved, activist investors are involved in this case. Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway and 3G, two well-known investors, are involved. The city of Pittsburgh is involved. Community was concerned about this potential acquisition, whether or not it would impact employment. There were naming rights for a football stadium that was involved. So there's a lot of things above and beyond the important analytical aspects of the case that appear to have been interesting to people. Ultimately, this is a story about one of the biggest and best-known investors in the world making an investment in a very well-known brand called Heinz. And there are aspects of activist investors that can be considered in this case. So there's a lot of protagonists, a lot of interesting things going on, but ultimately it is a valuation case, and the students are asked to determine whether or not the acquisition of Heinz was at an appropriate level and whether the interests of the various stakeholders were addressed. So all those things appear to have caused a lot of people to be interested in the case and its lessons. Well, I think cases are educational tools that bring a lot of awareness to students of the real world and matters that in that world are important to understand. They are adjuncts to textbooks. I've written textbooks that include cases, and by reading a textbook and an associated case, I think students are able to better understand the most important teaching lessons. And I think case writers need to therefore think about how to connect their cases with other written material, other textbooks or other material that they use in the class. And to the extent a case does that, it's a more effective case. In writing the case, it's really important, I think, to have obviously an interesting story. Cases are stories, and to the extent that a case writer can create a story that is engaging and compelling, it's a better case. If it's dry and important information, yet it doesn't capture the attention or the hearts and minds of the readers, the students, it's a less effective case. So to the extent a particularly interesting case can be chosen, and to the extent that case can be written in a story form that is engaging, especially in the first couple of paragraphs, including something that really is of interest and is intriguing to students, I think it's a better case. So otherwise it has to be written well, it has to be accurate, it has to be vetted with a lot of people, as our Kellogg cases are. There's a very good process of a lot of people looking at it and making suggestions. And then the case has to be tested. If it's tested in a classroom before it's in final form, you, as a case writer, learn things that you can employ that will improve the case. So ultimately, the case writer has to be engaged and excited to teach the case, and if so, that will be shown in the case itself.
Bye.